time is it? It's 8:54. It's now officially the first day of summer. It's the summer solstice, and welcome to another episode of Geocaching with Komikino and not the kid. She's still in school. If it wasn't for that big winter storm we had back in February, she would have been out of school like a week ago. What I'm going to do here today on summer solstice, first day of summer, the longest day of the year, I'm going to go out and see how many geocaches I can get on this day. On the winter solstice, the prior episode here, we went out and we found 40 geocaches and we got 120 stars of difficulty and terrain for a challenge. Today, I want to do the same, see if I can get 200 or more, because there's a 200 star challenge quest in that same area. And I'm thinking today of the longest day, hopefully I can get to 200. So join me here on this adventure as I do it alone. But don't worry, I've got John joining me here in a little bit, so he'll join me on this adventure to see how many stars, difficulty, and terrain challenge we can get on the summer solstice of 2019, longest day of the year. And with that, let's go. Now the sun rose today at 5:12 and sets at 9:10. And now it's about 9 o'clock. Could have started off earlier today, but had to take the kid to the last day of school, and I had to drive way out to this area where there's a large number of caches that I haven't found. So I've wasted about 4 hours of daylight just sleeping in, getting her to school, and driving out here, and also just being procrastination. Not really working with all the daylight and stuff that we have available to us here, but again, it's going to be kind of a challenge just to try and get these 200 stars. And as you can see, I've got everything all charted out here so I can keep a nice journal of the caches I find during the day. Now, one of the things that's difficult about trying to get 200 stars worth of difficulty and terrain caches is trying to get areas where you have a large concentration of caches that you haven't found. And we're starting it off by finding a puzzle cache hidden by Frodo B. That's right, I solved all his puzzles out here, and I'm getting them all set to be found today. So hopefully this will give us plenty of points needed there to get to 200 stars. Love it when they're easy to find. You want to be in an area where you can run out of your car, grab a cache, sign it, hop back in, drive off to the next location. And also, you gotta hurry. You gotta run out there, get this cache, and unfortunately, set off your car alarm in the process. No, don't do that. Now, if you're trying to go for stars, like for difficulty and terrain, trying to get as many as you can, parks can be kind of hit or miss. For one thing, the caches can be difficult to find, which would be good because you'd have a higher difficulty and terrain rating for them. Unfortunately, you can be spending a lot of time trying to find these things. For example, in this park here, there's 3 caches. They're worth 11 stars altogether. Now, if I get them all in a short amount of time, awesome, great. But if I spend anything more than a half hour out here trying to get these 3, that's a waste of time. Chart everything out ahead of time. You get all the good difficulty ones and the terrain and the difficulty planned out. You can have a better run. But I'm just winging this one here just to see what I can do. And when you're out doing a run like this, you also want to make sure that you enjoy nature. Take a look at the scenery, enjoy the places that these new caches have brought you. For example, there was this area that I cleared out, 5 caches I believe it was. I didn't bring my camera with me because I wanted to just concentrate on running out there and grabbing the caches. When I was out there, of course I see squirrels fighting and chasing each other, cool looking woodpeckers and birds that I haven't really seen before, and I didn't bring the camera to record these because again I was concentrating on getting caches, but I was glad I was at least able to see nature like this. Wish I could have shared that with you. But this park here I'm walking around through is pretty cool. It's nice wide open spaces, sections of trees like this, and also some pretty cool caches. There we go. Geoloafing was here. He's been everywhere here. Look, we're at Frank Zappa Park. No, not really. Finished this park here in about 45 minutes. Got 11.5 stars. It was beautiful, had lots of fun. Got 3 caches, but 11.5 stars and 40 some minutes. I need to find a lot of caches here now that are close together and have a lot of points. Been doing this now for about 3 hours, 15 minutes. Got 13 finds, 52 stars. Getting there. When you're doing these type of runs, don't forget, you gotta stop and get some food. That's right, I stopped at Jimmy John's to get some food. And a John.
And a John. Did you go to the John though? While you were at Jimmy John's?
Yes, I had to use... And I had to use the women's room because the men's room is occupied, so I used the ladies' room. Sorry, ladies. And while I was in there, I learned a lot of facts about Uranus. Or Uranus. Look at this picture here, and that was what was on the floor. So, as you can see, I learned a lot about Uranus. Anyway, that's a bad joke. But you know what? We got some caches to go out and find. Yes, we're 16 finds into this. 62 stars, and it's like 4 some hours now, and I think this is going to be a lot more challenging and difficult than what I thought. So, my bad.
But we have 8 hours of daylight left.
Ooh, that's right. We got that going on.
So, and I did bring some speed. No, I didn't bring anything like that, but we have lots of caffeine to keep us going. Thank you, Jimmy John's and Uranus. We can do this. We got it.
Now, the neat thing about doing this type of a cache run when you're with other people is that they can help you find the cache. John, if you would, please.
Oh, so I get to touch the bird droppings. Thank you. I guess that's why you bring me along, to deal with all the stuff.
Whoa. Cache found. John, have you signed the logbook there yet?
Well, no. Unfortunately, I haven't. I have a pen.
I brought you along to help me find these and log these for me. I mean, so we could work on this together, but here you go.
My hero. I must be a noob.
Is that it, John? Oh, jeez.
I think I have found an orange bass. Bass?
Base?
Basset?
Yeah.
And we can actually light it too.
Ooh,
It's a basset candle.
nice.
Very nice.
Is that kind of like the fish, the bass fish or bass fish? Bass.
Did you
bass?
bring your Bassomatic?
No. I'm more of like a lead guitar, rhythm guitar type of guy. I'm not really much into bass.
Oh,
Bass?
Well-
Bass?
bass?
Ace of bass? No,
No.
ace of bass, right?
Basketball?
Yeah,
Right.
that works.
Yeah. Sweet.
Okay.
Thanks for
Baskin Robbins.
Oh,
You can go for some ice cream at Baskin Robbins.
Baskin Robbins does sound good. As
31
long as
flavors.
they serve bass.
Ooh.
It.
I think we need to sign that logbook.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, we got into a little routine here, dropping off John at some of the caches along the road. He'll run out, find it, sign it, then I pick him up, and then we go down to the other one and do the same. But anyway, 27 caches have been found so far, and 102 points. Halfway there. John, do you hear that?
Rabbit.
I hear banjos. This can only go one way. You first, John. Bye. The place doesn't look sketchy. Not at all. It is sketchy. John's found another cache.
We got it.
He found that. I looked over and we saw something here. Check this out. This is kind of weird. We've got a hunter's axe and a little shovel and some nails sitting out here abandoned in this area. So, my geocaching question to you viewers is this. What's the weirdest set of tools you ever found abandoned in the woods while you were out caching? Because this here's on top of the list here for me. Want a free axe there, John? Let me ask you a question, John.
Well, I'll have to...
Do you dig it?
Oh, I dig it. Let me get the scoop on that, and I'll get back to you.
See,
I promise we haven't buried any bodies.
not yet. I mean,
Oh, geez, I'm out.
it is suggested for 4 years and up, so he's got it beat by at least 1 year. It says that it's here in this rock wall.
Rock wall.
Rock wall cache,
Rock
John.
Rock
Rock
wall.
wall. Rocks.
Rock.
Rock wall.
I don't know if this is the right rock wall, Rich.
Oh, GPS. It's across the street.
Ah, wrong rock wall.
As you can hear, we got the wildlife not too far away as we're doing the geocaching. We've got sorts of screaming monkeys and John.
I'm more of an ape, gorilla, than a monkey.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. Occasionally a Bigfoot, Sasquatch.
It's 9:24. We're only 41 caches into it. We've had some stops along the way. We're not doing as good as we thought. Only 150 and a half star points. I don't think we're going to do it. But so far, this is the best caching day I've had and he's had, so
Definitely.
best numbers run so far. I'm going to try and hammer out a couple more here just to get as many as we can. But yeah, 200 stars, that's a lot. You know, reason we got the one in the winter solstice is because we hit up that power trail, had 18 caches that we hit out in a half hour. That gave us like 30, 35 points. If there was one of those here, heck, we'd be up to like 180-ish or so, and all we need to do is like hit up a couple, few parking grabs.
Well, that's the problem, is that we have so much of this area cleared out already from previous caching.
True that.
Is that
And look,
leaving less stars?
it's dark and creepy. Jeez.
Yeah, no bears.
Yeah, no bears, cougars.
Nothing.
Oh well. Luckily we found this one. There you go. Night caching. It's dark and creepy out here. This is... Anyway,
Yeah, it's 9:40. I think we said it was 9:12 or something when we came in.
Yeah, that was way too long. We're taking way too long to walk out. We're definitely planned this all wrong, but this is like, well, 155 points or something like that.
Yeah, just about. We might be able to get one more at the end of the trail here as we're walking out, bringing us up to about 160.
Anyway, let's get out of here. And that, my friends, is how you don't run a numbers run like that. Fell short of the 200 difficulty and train stars needed for that challenge. Now, there was a few factors that hindered us in completing this challenge. For one thing, started off a little bit too late. Instead of being out there at 6 or 7, I started up at 9 o'clock. If I had just started a couple hours earlier, got a lot more points on that, I know that for sure. I also had that stop for lunch because I had low blood sugar. Had to stop, get something to eat, and then wait for John to show up. And then for dinner, we stopped at a restaurant and got some food, and ended up spending a lot of extra time there what we didn't plan on because somebody we knew was there and we were talking with the guy. An hour and a half spent right there on dinner alone. So the hour and a half from that, the extra 2 hours, the half hour for lunch they could have saved, that could have given us 4 more hours to work on to complete this thing. Oh well. And also, all the time that it took to set up the camera, film some of those B-roll shots, and that type of thing. Even though I didn't film everything, and I wanted to hurry up with things, I probably could have saved an extra half hour, 45 minutes of time from when I stopped to just film random things. So 4.5 hours, let's say, I could have applied towards caching, which would have given us the 200 points needed for sure. But at the end of the day, we did finally manage to get 43 caches and 157 points. So, we were so close, but yet so far away. Now, if I try this again, definitely going to have to do it earlier in the day. Get caches in a more concentrated area to where it's just cache to cache to cache, as opposed to get a couple caches, drive out 10-15 minutes to another spot to get caches. So that was a life lesson, and I don't know again when I'll be able to do something like this. Maybe next summer solstice? I don't know. I do want to thank you all for watching this adventure of ours to see if we can get those 200 star points, of which we didn't get. And until next time, cache on. They're gonna take you to your car. Oh, this is still on.